Did you know that even though there are tens of thousands of words in the English language, you really only need about 3,000 of them to say anything you need to say? I'm teaching 3,000 words in 3,000 days. Stick with me and you'll get a new word every day. Firstly, firstly. So the word first is the ordinal number for one. First. For example, today is the 1st of July, or July 1st. It's number one. First. Firstly is an adverb, but we use it to set something up. If we have a firstly, then we usually have a secondly or a lastly. Firstly can mean originally or in the beginning, primarily, initially, or we often say to start with. That's a phrase that we will use to mean firstly. Firstly, we need to gather all the necessary materials before starting the experiment. So here, firstly shows that it's going to introduce a sequence or something, and it's the first point on the sequence. She was nervous about the interview, and firstly, she worried about answering questions correctly. So here, do you see how and firstly? We could take the firstly out and just say, and she worried about answering questions correctly. But if I put the firstly in, it means that the most important thing or the biggest worry that she has is that she will answer the questions correctly. It's slightly informal, and it means it's the most important. Firstly, among his achievements is the creation of a community library that serves hundreds of people. This time, firstly is showing the most important. It's a rank rather than a sequence. Firstly, among his many achievements. I would firstly like to thank everyone who supported this project. So this is something you might hear in a speech. It's formal, and it means I am starting with the most important people. I firstly want to thank everyone who supported this project, and I'd like to thank my family who was very supportive and carried other things while I was working on this project. So you're going to have more than one group that you're thanking, but the most important group that you're thanking is this group of people. You can also look at this, I would firstly like to thank everyone who supported this project, to mean the first thing I want to say is thank you to everyone. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about the project. So you can take it two ways. It can be most important person or group. It can also be the first I'm going to talk about. Firstly, it's important to note that not all solutions are equally effective in practice. This is, firstly here means that before we start anything else, we need to talk about this. That's what firstly here means. We have some other words that put things in sequence, like secondly and finally. In English, we really like, especially in our written English, we really like parallel structure. So if you write firstly and you mean to have a sequence, don't use then, use secondly, because we like them to be parallel, firstly, secondly, finally. If you want to use then as the second part, you would maybe start with just say it, and then you'd, for example, this morning I edited videos. Then I decided to film videos because the light's good. Finally, I'm going to go back and edit more videos. So I would say just the thing, and then I would say then, and then I would say finally. That's a progression of how I would use a sequence without firstly. I could also say, and this is more formal, firstly, I need to edit videos. Secondly, I need to film more videos. And finally, I will post those videos. That's another way to show a sequence. The noun for firstly is probably one. First, he is the first and you don't have any noun after it, the first one, well, no, first is going to be your adjective. There is no verb, but the adjective is first. We use these ordinal numbers as adjectives. Maybe we would say first for like January 1st. New Year's Day is January 1st. In that sense, first is a noun. And the adverb is firstly. Ly is the overwhelming suffix that turns a noun or an adjective into an adverb.
I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Use it 5 times today, write it down, commit it to memory, and I'll see you in the next lesson.